stupid bitch. What the fuck is this? Yeah, you is a stupid bitch. Oh my god, here I come. Oh my god, stupid bitch. Never mind, we just playing. I gotta go set the oven at 250 really quick. Send your mama over, tell that bitch, go ahead and suck my dick. Alright, I'm just playing for real now. That was just bullshit off the top of my head. I do not rap. I was just messing around. Smelling like a shit, you looking like a bitch, stupid bitch. I be right back, motherfucker, get stupid lit. Maybe I'll pop a little video on for you, bitch. You know what it is, let me give you something really quick.
Idea how obnoxious.
What can we watch that you wanted a bit? Oh. You know what'd be hilarious is if I put on H Bomber Guy talking about plagiarism in YouTube and fucking left you guys. Oh, with H Bomber Guy. Oh, I'm doing terrible right now. Terrible. I'll get this one day. Actually, fucking Hannibal and I, Javi and I, this week, tune in. It's gonna be good. Promise. All right, I'm gonna put this on for you guys because it's funny to me. All right, I'll be right back. Briefly. I'm plagiarizing.
In 1970, in Analog magazine, Harlan Ellison and Ben Bova published the short story Brillo. Ellison's one of the most famous writers in history, but Bova's no slouch. He soon became editor of Analog, where he was beloved and won the Hugo Award for Best Professional Editor 6 times. This isn't one of his. He accepted this one on behalf of George R.R. Martin, whose career he started. George couldn't make it. He was running a chess tournament at the time. Writers used to have fun. Now we just complain about Twitter. On Twitter, Brillo was about the world's first robot police officer. His name's Brillo because Brillo pads are metal fuzz. That's pretty good. This is one of the earliest stories in fiction about a robot cop, a commonplace trope today, and soon in real life. It wasn't the first example. The most famous earlier one would be Isaac Asimov's Caves of Steel. Remember this, it will come up later. Ellison and Bova thought the idea had legs and decided to adapt it into a TV show. They pitched the idea to a few companies, including NBC, where an executive named Terry Keegan said no. They later showed Brillo to Paramount, where the head of development, Terry Keegan, he'd recently been hired there, said no. The same man passed on the same pitch twice at 2 companies. Clearly not a fan of the robot cop idea. 6 months later, Terry Keegan sold a show called Future Cop to ABC. It's a show about a robot cop.
He's an android, a robot, the perfect cop.
Our boys realize they've been ripped off.
When I saw it, I wanted to file immediately. My attorney said, forget it, man. He said 90% of all plagiarism suits the plaintiff loses. Besides, these guys will kill you. You'll never work in this town again.
They spend years finding a lawyer willing to sue a giant television conglomerate, despite the cost and the possibility of being blacklisted from working in television. In his deposition, Keegan claims he never read Brillo, an obvious lie. It was later discovered the memos proving he deliberately ripped them off had been burned. The jury found in favor of Ellison and Bova and awarded them $337,000 in damages, about $1.2 million today. Ellison used some of the money to put up a billboard across the street from the studio reading, "Writers, don't let them steal from you. Keep their hands out of your pockets." Or at least he said he was going to in interviews at the time, and later journalism claims it happened, but I can't find any pictures, which is a shame. Either way, they still made off with all that delicious money. Yum yum.
I've been waiting 4 years for this moment. 4 years to tell other writers they can fight him and beat him.
So, what's all that about? Okay, you know that trick video essayists use where they open on a semi-related example that sets the stage for the wider topic? It's a classic, I do it all the time. I wanted to open on a recent example of a writer winning a plagiarism lawsuit and getting their day in court. But there isn't one. This ancient case, which took place over a decade before I, and statistically you, were even born, is still the best, most recent, and almost only example. Ellison and Bova are among the few writers to ever see financial compensation for their work being stolen. Oh, this always happens. Testing, 1, 2, 3. For the foreseeable future, if someone else on here steals your work for money, there's not much you can do except talk about it. A few years ago, I made a video with some examples of plagiarism and even covered a time I felt it happened to me. The guy in question, Lukey Poo, briefly posted a 10-minute response accusing me of overreacting before appearing to think better of the whole thing and deleting this along with the video copying me.
I watched your video, went through it piece by piece, and copied it because you're such an incredible YouTuber.
Thanks, Luke. Apology accepted. He has since rebranded his channel, recognizing the irony in presenting himself as a literal piece of shit, but his videos are still awash with plagiarism accusations, ripping off other YouTubers for hours at a time now, the only new sections being stuff about how homophobia's fine. Maybe the rebrand was a little too soon, but no authority took Luke's video down. He could have left it up, and people often do. You can spend ages on a unique video with an original idea, and a way more popular guy can rip it off, along with its thumbnail, get a bajillion views, and rake in the cash. On YouTube, if you have an original idea, if it's good, it won't be yours for long. The fact I'm making this video during one of the biggest creative strikes in history isn't lost on me. Other people's hands have never before been this deep in the pockets of creators. We need Harlan Ellison's billboard now more than ever. But I don't know how to rent a billboard and it sounds expensive. So instead, we're going to talk about plagiarism on YouTube, what exactly it is, why it's wrong, and the many unintended side effects. Only then can we begin to talk about what to do about it, or at least what I'm going to do to try to put some of it right. I'm going to use a few relatively well-known examples you might have heard of already, and some new ones I found just for this video. I could even ruin some of your favorite YouTubers for you. Apologies in advance. So, let's start some fights. Part I. Philip.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for clicking on the video.
Philip Mewson was a YouTuber who reviewed Nintendo Switch games and accessories and talked about Nintendo-related news. His videos were surprisingly well edited, and by that I mean they used way too many fancy transitions. I mean, they're not even hard to do, you just drag and drop them on your timeline and what? But when he applied for a job at IGN, his obvious mastery of a plugin everyone else also has, and existing channel with a decent size led to him getting picked as their new Nintendo editor. On August 6th, 2018, his review of Dead Cells went up onto the official IGN YouTube channel. But then on August 7th, YouTuber Boomstick Gaming posted a video titled, "IGN copied my Dead Cells review. What do I do?" He had noticed some similarities between Philip's reviews and his own, published in late July.
Dead Cells takes the progression of a Metroidvania and integrates it into this procedurally generated action roguelike.
It takes the progression system of a Metroidvania and transforms it into a procedurally generated action roguelike.
This combat system is fast, fluid, responsive, and one of the most rewarding representations of 2D combat of the entire
I'm not gonna
genre.
lie, I
Fights
fucked
are
up here.
fast,
I'm gonna
fluid,
get off. I
responsive,
shouldn't have
and hands
streamed.
down
I gotta
one of the most
cook and
gratifying
shit. So
representations of
I
video
love you
game combat
guys.
I've ever
I'm
experienced.
gonna be on
Dead Cells
early
figures out an
tomorrow if
intriguing way to
anybody
have
wants
your
to come
roguelike
watch.
and
Gonna be
Metroidvania
with
experience
Javi,
all
and
in
we're
one
gonna
by focusing
do
on your failures and urging you
some
to
music
try something
shit.
new the next
We're
time.
gonna make some
Dead Cells
music
strikes
and
a
we're gonna
perfect
fucking
and
talk
engaging
about some
balance
music.
between the
I'm going to
Metroidvania
boxing
and
before that,
roguelike
so
experiences by focusing
yeah.
on your failures
Alright.
and urging you
Well,
to experiment each time you do fail.
I don't know how
Dead
to
Cells only
end my
falters
fucking
slightly with some
stream on here
repetition setting in,
anymore.
especially on the early areas and during longer play sessions.
Dead Cells does falter slightly with some repetition, but it's only felt in its earlier areas
to
and
have
during
more.
extended play sessions.
Speaking of repetition,
That's
oh my
unfortunate.
god, the review
Okay,
was taken down
let
while
me
IGN
see.
investigated the issue further, and then later that day confirmed
love you
he'd been let go
guys.
from the company. But was
We're
this
gonna
the
make this
first
a better
time Philip
stream,
had
and I'm
done
gonna
this?
start
Catching
advertising
someone
it a
doing
lot,
plagiarism
and
is
we're gonna get it
difficult.
popping.
Someone has to
And
notice the theft.